Tonight on Q2, remembering John Ostlund.
Yellowstone County commissioners, with the grief still fresh, are back to work looking to move forward.
You truly get out of this job what you put into it. And if you use just John as an example, you know, John put his whole life in here.
Plus, shaken in Sidney.
The wind had taken it, the big plume across the prairie. But yeah, you could see the initial explosion part as well.
Explosions erupt in the small Montana town with the booms felt 10 miles away. We'll have the details.
And a man turns near death into a story of survival.
I've got a second chance at life, and I want to take that opportunity to use it to the fullest ability.
A Harley lover is back on the open road after doctors bringing back to life 8 times.
The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Andrea Lutz.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. Our top story, Yellowstone County commissioners are moving forward after the sudden death of longtime Commissioner John Ostlund.
Well, through their grief, the commission got back to work today, discussing a number of topics, including dividing responsibilities, filling his seat, and honoring his legacy.
MTN's Marcus Kakova sits down with the remaining commissioners to see what's next.
Been just over a week since Yellowstone County Commissioner John Ostlund passed away. And already the question is, what happens now?
We don't want to wait too long because it is, by law, a 3-member commission.
In the meantime, the 2 remaining commissioners, Mark Morse and Mike Waters, have started picking up the pieces, figuring out who takes on what.
Wherever it fits in somebody's schedule right now, that person is going to cover those boards.
The everyday work continues. But behind the scenes, the process of choosing a replacement is underway, starting with the Yellowstone County Republican Central Committee.
They'll develop a list of candidates. They will forward 3 names to us. And it'll be myself and Commissioner Waters. We can either choose from one of those 3 names, or we can say no to those 3 names, and then the Central Committee will send us 3 more names.
It's a stopgap, really. Because whoever fills the seat now, they won't be guaranteed to stay there past the end of next year.
If they want to run again, they will have to start campaigning next year and go through, the primary process if necessary, and stand in a general election.
Still, no matter who steps in, they've got a large legacy looming overhead.
For people across the state of Montana, a Yellowstone County Commissioner is really synonymous with John Ostlund.
I think you would be hard-pressed to find anyone who loved Yellowstone County more than John.
That's why Morse and Waters say, though it's underway, this isn't something they're going to rush.
We want to do it right, too, and that means making sure that the Republican Central Committee has time to take applicants, time to vet them, and present us in accordance with the law with three candidates.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
The community will now have a chance to pay its respects.
Yeah, the public service that's honoring Commissioner John Ostlund will be held July 12th at 10 a.m. It's going to be at Metro Park.
A Billings woman whose husband was sentenced Wednesday to 80 years in prison for the killing of her 4-year-old son was in court today to also face charges in the boy's death. Lana Marie Harasimchuk pleaded not guilty to 3 felony counts of criminal child endangerment and 3 felony counts of tampering with or fabricating evidence. Prosecutors say that the child, Jackson Gatlin, was drowned in a tub of scalding water by Christopher Harasimchuk and also showed signs of blunt trauma. The 2 married just weeks after the boy's death. Well, Christopher is now headed to prison. Bond for Lana was set at $100,000.
Tonight, disturbing new details emerge from newly unsealed court documents in the beating death of Dennis Osborne in the Billings Heights last summer. 18-year-old Bryce Blackburn is charged with deliberate homicide in the death of 55-year-old Osborne. The incident unfolded June 6 at Clevenger Park during a baseball game. Witnesses say that confrontation spilled out into the street over Blackburn's loud exhaust. Osborne, watching from a nearby porch, approached Blackburn, and that's when things turned violent. Witnesses say Blackburn and his brother attacked him, throwing 6 punches and kicking him while he was on the ground. Blackburn claims that Osborne threw a bottle and grabbed his shirt. An autopsy found Osborne died from blunt force trauma.
A massive explosion rocked the Sidney area last night, lighting up the sky and rattling homes for miles. That blast erupted around 8 p.m. at a saltwater disposal facility just 4 miles outside Sidney along Highway 261 near the North Dakota border. Flames shot into the air as emergency crews raced to contain that fire. Residents reported feeling the blast as far away as 10 miles. The site holds propane tanks and became a dangerous fuel source once ignited, triggering that powerful explosion. No injuries were reported. One resident says she was 8 to 10 miles away when her camper shook, but she didn't realize what was happening at the time.
We were just sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden we just felt the whole camper move. We thought that maybe one of our friends had shown up and were messing with us and hit the back of the side of the camper. We went outside and there was nothing there, and then we thought maybe a hydraulic jack had kind of lowered. Yeah. And then we turned around and looked, and there's a big black cloud of plume behind us. We're like, oh, that's what it was.
Sidney Fire stayed on the scene throughout the night to keep the flames in check. Cause of that fire remains under investigation.
A weapons complaint turned into an arson investigation overnight in Billings, ending with a man in custody in a home damaged by fire. Police were called to 10 Heatherwood Lane just after midnight. When officers arrived, they found a small fire burning inside the home, and they immediately called in the fire crews. The homeowner, identified as 44-year-old Jeremy Smith, was taken to the hospital before being arrested. He now faces possible charges of arson and resisting arrest.
Another active weather day for us in Montana and in Wyoming. We have another round of rain showers and thunderstorms pushing into Park County, also Wheatland County, and a far western Sweetgrass County, also pushing into Marr County also. We also have more active weather as we head further to the east. Now, about an hour and a half ago, had some thunderstorms that moved over the Billings area. Those are long gone, but we have some more activity pushing over Custer, also moving out of Roundup and just to the west of Melstone. Very active weather over southeastern Montana. Powder River County, Carter County too, with some thunderstorms between Broadus and the Wyoming state line, and more active weather just to the west of Glendive, approaching Glendive itself. So plenty of thunderstorms. I'll let you know your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Tonight, a remarkable story of survival and pure grit. Kenneth Taylor, a beloved Harley mechanic, flatlined 8 times after suffering a heart attack on his bike. But Grizz isn't just surviving, he's already back on the open road. MTN's Matt Carmack has the incredible comeback story.
Kenneth Taylor loves his motorcycles.
I've been riding motorcycles all my life since I was a little kid.
He's a part of the Knuckles Up Motorcycle Club here in Billings, a group of people who he says are the reason he's alive today.
It is truly a brotherhood. And I didn't realize how much of a brotherhood it was until I had this heart attack.
In April, what Kenneth thought was a chest pain episode was actually a severe heart attack. He said he survived because his motorcycle brothers noticed that something was wrong.
I remember walking in and the lady said, "What are you here for?" And I said, "Man, my chest really hurts." And I woke up 6 days later after that.
Kenneth originally went to an outside hospital that was going to send him to Denver. However, he ended up at the Billings clinic because the hospital happened to have this little life-saving machine.
Once he was here, he got a stent into the left anterior descending artery, the Widowmaker artery. And that was enough to kind of restore blood flow to the heart to help it work more efficiently.
Besides the actual surgery, Kenneth miraculously survived because of an extracorporeal membrane oxygenation machine, or an ECMO.
We do a lot of this type of procedure here because we are the referring hospital for the region. We're the only hospital within the region that provides the mobile ECMO services.
It has back here a little artificial lung. And that way we can give oxygen and also blow off CO2 while providing pump flow to the patient.
Brian Reeder, a perfusionist at the hospital, tells me this ECMO keeps the patient alive during surgery. Not only that, but it can warm up the patient's blood and even do lab work.
Send them here. We'll take care of them. We have a great team.
Now it's 2 months post-op for Kenneth, and he says he's eternally grateful for both Billings Clinic and his motorcycle crew for rallying behind him on that scary afternoon.
I've got a second chance at life, and I want to take that opportunity to use it to the fullest ability.
I told him when he came back for his post-operative visit that, occasionally in your career, you meet people who are walking miracles, and Mr. Taylor is as close to a walking miracle as I've encountered.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.